Amos, let's try and get through some of the big issues. Bob McNally says day one, if Biden sits in the White House, executive order by the stroke of the pen, he's going to rejoin the Paris Agreement. He is going to undo some of the tariffs. What is top of the agenda by executive order if it is a Biden victory?
I agree with Bob. I think that on day one, there will be a rejoining of the Paris Agreement, but that's really that's important but symbolic. You'll see on the first several weeks some of the regulations in the energy sector that were put in place by the Obama administration that were withdrawn by the Trump administration will be put back into play. They will announce new goals for the United States on energy. They will look to use the executive branch powers to implement new rules and regulations, while in parallel work towards working with Congress for something that is more concrete and more permanent than trading executive orders every time there's a new administration.
Amos, what about his dynamics? What do you think his relationship will be like with Mitch McConnell, who, of course, won his seat, but at the same time trying to appease the most progressive part of the Democrat Party?
Well, I think what's clear is that the base of the Democratic Party still remains the middle class in the United States. You said earlier in your program, the states that really brought the victory, if it should be sustained, are places like Michigan and Minnesota and Wisconsin and potentially Pennsylvania and places like Georgia. That's the base of the Democratic Party. I think clearly progressives brought a lot of enthusiasm. But remember, Joe Biden, unlike President Obama, was a senator for many years. He knows Mitch McConnell well. He has deep relationships in the Senate. And I think it would be a mistake to just assume that the relationship between the executive and the Senate that existed under the Obama administration will simply be replicated. I think it will be different. And I think there will be a lot more of a striving to find places of agreement where they can, whilst still disagreeing in other places.
Amos, something you know very well is obviously the Iran policy. How quickly would Biden as president get a return to the JCPOA and a substantial deal moving?
Well, Matt, I think, as you know, Vice President Biden has repeatedly said that he intends on returning to the JCPOA. But let's remember, there are two sides to this. The Iranians have to want to come back to this deal as well. They have an election in Iran. Yeah. I believe that election will be influenced by the outcome of that election will be influenced by what happens here in the United States. So I believe President Biden will immediately reach out to the Iranians to see what we can do to reach a deal. It will probably mean we have to have some adjustments, perhaps the sunset provisions, meaning the expiration of parts of the agreement. But I would expect, barring any major surprises, that within a few months, we'll have a return to either the JCPOA or a JCPOA minus, meaning freezing of some of the sanctions in return for freezing the activity by the Iranians.
We break news on YouTube for YouTubers.